All right, I'd like to welcome you to StockerTroutFishing.com. We're just going to do a real quick fly tying demo, or at least a Sabiki fly tying demo. There was a thing that we started making not too long ago and was using on the local lake here for some white bass. And what it involves is using basically mylar wrapping. In this case, we started out when we first did it using a Frito Fly chips bag, and that worked really good. We call it the Frito Fly. But then we ran out of Fritos, and we went with a Bavita, one of those 100-calorie something bars or cookies, and made for a nice little fly that has worked well for us. That said, here is just a little example of what we're using. It's basically about 1 inch by about 3 inches or so in size, where we took the wrapper and cut it into that rectangle, and then later on we cut into a diamond shape. Here's an example of that diamond shape here. Okay, of the parts that we used, or material, we have 30-pound test monofilament. That'll be the main line, and then for the droppers, where we'll tie on the Sabiki flies, is a 17-pound trilene mono. We've got the Bavita wrapper. You can also use Frito Lays, also coffee packs, and also, let's grab it over here, a mylar balloon. Works really well. What's cool about the mylar balloon is after it gets beaten up, it starts getting a clear look to it, and maybe the fish like it even more. We use a size 2 Aberdeen hook, and then some extreme nails, hard as nails, nail polish in a red color. We like the red just to give it a little attractant, I guess, that the fish like. And then for tools, we've got nail clippers and a scissor. Okay, so first thing we'll do is tie the Sabiki fly. And what we'll do is we'll take that rectangular piece of wrapper that we had cut, keep the shiny side up, and fold it over. And then we'll cut a diamond shape out of it, cutting a piece off here and then a piece off here. And what should happen is you get a little diamond-like thing here, and you can fold it over and you'll see that shape. Alright, and then we'll take our size 2 Aberdeen hook and we'll place it in the fly or the wrapper, just enough to show the eye of the hook. And then we'll just take a section about maybe a foot or so of the 17-pound test line, and we'll run it up and through the eye, up and through the eye, almost. Oh, there we go. All right, and then we'll lay it on the top of the wrapper. And then we'll double over the remainder of the line, like so. And then taking this section of the line, we'll begin wrapping around the hook and the wrapper back toward the shank or the hook bend. After about 5 or so wraps, we'll stop, and then we'll go ahead and pull on this one right here. And the piece you got to be careful of is to make sure that the other line doesn't wrap under your, or wrap around the foil piece here, or the wrapper, like that. And what should happen is you get sort of like a snelled hook right there. I'll hold down that tag end and tighten a little. And then we'll just tighten it a little bit more. And that's it. Trim off a piece here. And then another piece. And we'll apply the red polish on the monofilament to give it a red head. And then we'll be ready to start rigging up after you tie about 2 or 3 more of these. So we like to go with 3, and we'll put it on the main line. Okay, here's the fly after we've applied the hard as nails red polish to it. We'll just set it aside and let it dry while we work on the other 2, and once it's dry, we can go ahead and rig them up. Okay, here's the other 3 that we've made, and next step is to rig them up. Okay, we've got our 3 Sabiki flies made out of that wrapper and the 17-pound test. Got the heads colored with some of that red nail polish, and all that's left now is to rig them onto the main line. And in this case, we're going to go with a 30-pound test main line. And for now, we'll just go ahead and pull off about 3-4 feet, just so that we have enough. 3-4 feet. All right, we'll just cut it off here. Okay. And then about every foot or so, we're going to tie a, oops, dropped it. What we'll do is we'll tie basically a surgeon's loop, or basically flipping it over once, over, put the line through, and again one more time. So we have it looped twice through the loops. We'll do this 3 times, and won't tie them all the way. All right. But about every foot or so, or you can play it by ear, but about a foot is about all you need. And we'll just loop it twice through so that we have 3. Do the same, and we'll just tighten it just slightly, but not all the way. All right, we'll need that room to add the dropper loops. All right, and here's our 3rd one that we'll add. And here we go. 1 loop and 2. There it is. And then we'll just slowly tighten it. Just make sure we're about a foot apart on each. This one's a little bit too far, so we'll get it closer in. There we go. All right, and what should happen is you should have these surgeon knots or double loops. Not sure what it's really called, but you should have those 3 about a foot apart or so. And with that, you're ready for the next piece. So let's go ahead and bring in the next piece. Let's take one of our flies, and it's called a uni knot is what we'll be using. And what we'll do is we'll pass through the line, the 17-pound test line. We'll pass it through the little loop we made in the line, bring it all the way over. And then, not pulling it tight, but just making sure it's in there. About a 1-inch diameter loop is what we'll make, and then we'll just go wrap the tag into the 17-pound test through that loop that we made about 4 or 5 times. And basically is what we lose called a uni knot. All right. Here we go. And then we'll tighten up on it. And that should give you about an inch, or actually about 2-3 inches of a dropper. And once you tighten up on the 17-pound test and on that uni knot, you can now grab the 30-pound test line and the fly and bring them tight against each other. And should happen is they'll jam the knot against each other, and that'll get you your dropper. Okay. And basically you do this with the other two, and you'll have a nice sabiki rigged sabiki flies right there. So we'll just repeat this a couple more times, and then we'll show you the end result here shortly. Okay, we've got the 3 on there, and just want to show again what we were doing after we got the fly onto the main line. All we're doing is jamming the uni knot to the double loop or surgeon knot, and then once we have that, we'll just tighten each one just one more time for good measure. Trim off the tag end of the 17-pound test line. And what should happen is you have that 30-pound main line with 3 surgeon loops, and then the 3 droppers that are attached to the Sabiki Fly, and that uni knot will be jammed up against the surgeon loop. And what will happen is you have this nice 3-rigged Sabiki Fly rig. So what's next? What we like doing is we'll tie this with a either to a swivel, or we may just use a blood knot or barrel knot to tie to our main line, and then over here we'll add a slab or weight, depending on if we're going to be casting, doing some surf casting. Sometimes we'll just put a heavy weight and just yank it way out there if we need to go for some distance. Other times we'll try the slab and use that to troll with. And then other times when we don't want it to go as deep, we'll just go with a crappie jig just to give us some more weight. And what happens then is you'll get one hit, and as you get the one hit, usually another one will take another one of the flies. The next thing you know, you'll have multiple hookup, sometimes getting all of your hooks with some fish. So good stuff. So that's what we use. Do check out some of our fishing videos that we used. We've got some surf casting ones where we're using this rig, as well as some trolling ones in the kayak, and we've been doing really well at our local lake catching these white bass. Alright, so thanks for tuning in. Great to have you checking out the fly tying, or the Sabiki flying tying demo, and hope to see you out on the water for the folks that are local, and then those that aren't. We hope that maybe you guys can send some pics or some video that we'll be happy to post, and we do have several places that we can post them online if you want others to view them. And that's again Sabiki fly tying demo. Till next time, we'll catch y'all later, and good luck and good fishing.